Hello and welcome back to another video. We are starting another month. I am starting this a day late because I had what was meant to be an hour and a half driving lesson yesterday went to near enough 3 hours, so I was pretty dead, so I didn't film. Today I have another driving lesson. Tomorrow is my driving test. I am terrified. Today is the day, my driving test day. My driving test is at 3 minutes to 9. It's currently 7 in the morning. He's coming to pick me up at 7:30 so we can go over a few final things. I am so nervous. You'll know the outcome of this test. I don't. And you know what? I'm going to be proud of what I've already achieved, because a few years ago we didn't even think I'd ever be able to drive. And it's not because of my physical stuff, it's because I've got really extreme driving anxiety, and being in a car driving, it gave me such bad anxiety. It's something we never thought I'd be able to do, is sit in a car and drive. So even if I fail today, I should be proud of the fact, I'm going to be proud of the fact that I got this far anyway, and that we're at this point now where we're confident that I can do a test. But yeah, I'm so nervous because I know if I fail, I know that mentally it will be really hard because I've put so much work and effort into this, and I want to pass, and I need to pass. Otherwise I might end up having to redo my theory again. Can't do that again. I've passed. I have passed. First time on my driving test. Oh my god. I was so stressed. I only got 3 minors. Thank god I've passed. I've never been so happy in my life. So today, it's been a few days since my driving test. I've had to take in a few days just to chill because I've had a massive flare these last few days and I've just not felt very well. I felt a little bit better today, but not wonderfully better, unfortunately. We looked around some cars, and hopefully tomorrow we are going to order a car, which will be exciting. It'll take about 2 months or so to get here, so it'll be a little while, but hopefully, I'm really hoping it comes before I go back to uni. If an overplan for next week, I've got on Monday I'm going to meet up with a friend in like the next big town over. Then on Thursday I'm off up to town to see the new Jurassic World film. I've never seen the other ones, but should be nice. And then Friday I've got another blood test. So today I am off to the next kind of like big town over to meet up with one of my friends. I'm very excited. I haven't seen them for a little bit, so it'd be nice to catch up. I think we're just going to sit, catch up, get lunch, and then we might do some mini golf, which will be very fun. Today is another rest day. And today and yesterday were both kind of rest days, just trying to relax and chill because it's getting very warm and I really struggle in the heat, as my body doesn't really cool itself down, so I just keep getting warmer and warmer. Tomorrow I'm off uptown to see the new Jurassic Park film. I haven't seen any of the others. I just thought I would want to come on here and talk about something. So like most people, I was like, oh my gosh, Lewis Capaldi's come back, he's going on tour again. Yeah, I want to see him. And the night at the Nottingham Motorsport Arena was the most suitable to me. I look at that accessibility thing. To get accessible tickets, you just have to keep phoning this line, which one is not very accessible. 2, why the hell do you not have like a queue you can join in this call if you're gonna have to make us call and not do it online? So I do this for like 45 minutes, I never get through, sold out. Yeah, like when I checked at 9:30, so it started at 9, at 9:30 I went on and just checked the normal one, there were still tickets available. The issue is I need the accessible tickets. It just really frustrates me because you're just calling it and it just ends on you, and you just keep going basically, and it is so frustrating. So today I've got a blood test, as we've restarted the blood test thing, so it's a blood test every 2 weeks. That's all I really got to say apart from avoiding the heat. Oh my gosh, we're in another heat wave. I cannot function in the heat. Like, my body just doesn't know how to cool itself down. I keep getting warmer and warmer and warmer. Actually, have I spoken about this? But me and one of my friends on Tuesday are flying out to Germany, Berlin, for a week. And we're doing loads of little trips to different museums, some walk around the town and stuff like that, really look at the history, but also have a bit of fun. And I am so excited, very, very nervous, because this is the first time I have gone abroad without my family. That is not on a charity trip that I did. So yeah, I am very, very nervous, but very, very excited. So today is Monday. My friend is currently driving up and she's going to spend the night at my house, so we're ready to go tomorrow as we're flying out of Birmingham Airport, which is a lot closer to mine than it is to hers. But yeah, so I think I've just finished packing. I think I've got everything. Well, I hope I do. There's a few things I can't pack till the day, like my deodorant or my hairbrush and stuff like that. But apart from that, fully packed up. I'm very, very nervous because I've never gone like on my own. I'm not really on my own, but you know what I mean. And airports already make me quite nervous. But I'm also quite excited because when we booked this back in March, I've been looking forward to it ever since. And we've got so much fun stuff and I'm so excited. So today I am out at the Botanical Gardens in Berlin. It's so warm, it's so lovely. The last few days, yesterday we went to DDR Museum and the Bodyworld Museum. The day before we went to the zoo. Tomorrow we are going to the Lesbian and Gay City Festival. Sunday we're doing the East Side Gallery. Monday we are doing the Reichstag, Brandenburg Gate and Memorial for Murdered Jews of Europe. And then on Tuesday, the day we leave, we're doing the Topography Terror and the Berlin Story Bunker. So very, very jam-packed, very, very tired, and warm, and in a lot of pain, but loving it. It's so much fun. We're having so much fun. And I hope you keep enjoying the collections of just little bits of footage as I'm trying to live in the moment. So I am back home. I got back about midnight yesterday. Well, early hours of that morning. And then I took the day to rest and recover. I'm still kind of recovering. Like, I've got blisters on my hands because I've had to use my crutch so much in such warm weather. I've got blisters on my feet. I've got bruised feet because of how much I've had to walk and stuff like that, and it's a lot for my body. So our plans did deviate from our original plans and stuff that we booked just because of the weather. Me and my friend who were going really cannot cope with the heat. My body and hers as well really struggle with temperature control, and so it just meant when it was really warm we could not do anything. We did have to just stay in the hotel. So when we flew out from Birmingham Airport. I cannot fault the travel assistant staff that side. They were so helpful, they were so welcoming, they listened to what we needed and helped us. Our flight was over an hour delayed up on the way there and the way back. Really just Ryanair, great for delays. But yeah, cannot fault Birmingham Airport as travel assistant staff, special assistant staff. Once we got into Birmingham Airport, their special assistant is called Mobility Services. They were really bad, if I've got to be truthfully honest. When they were taking us off the plane, they took us off and took us to this room where you couldn't move, like leave or go out of unless you had the special pass. And they said, we'll be back in 3 minutes. 25 minutes later, they rock up through the other door with 2 more people and then just take us like this way. We don't really know where we're going. They don't speak a lot of English, which is fine. Great, I know we're in Germany, we're in a different country. But they don't tell us what's happening. Then the guy who's pushing the wheelchair for me pushed me so far ahead from my friend that then when we wanted to stop so we could book an Uber, he just kept going because he wanted to go join up with his friend who was pushing someone else. They also only had 2 attendants for 4 people, so 2 of the other people, their like companions had to push them, which in my case just wouldn't be able to work because my friend also has a disability. But yeah, once we finally got them to stop and we could then go book our Uber and go, we arrived at the hotel at like 11:30 at night, so we just slept, and the next day we went to the zoo. That was a very full-on day. On the Thursday we did the Body World Museum and the DDR Museum. On the Friday we did the Botanical Gardens. On the Saturday we walked around the Lesbian and Gay City Festival. And then we found out where our hotel wasn't too far from the Mall of Berlin, so we did one half of that. On the Sunday we did the Story Bunker. On the Monday we did the East Side Gallery in the morning. Then we did the Reichstag, the Brandenburg Gate, and the Memorial to the Murdered Jews of Europe in the afternoon. Flew back here on the Tuesday, did the Topography of Terror, I believe it said, and then the other half at the Mall of Berlin. On the way back, the mobility services, so we got to the airport quite early because we didn't have anything better to do. And they took us through, security got us through early, and the guy took us straight through duty free. We wanted to stop at duty free, but no, and then straight through like the passport control the other side for like international flights and stuff, because obviously we're going back to the UK. So usually once you're through that you can't go back, and there's like nothing through there. So he put us by the gate that we're going to, and we were so early the previous flight was boarding. The flight's going to Manchester, and then he just left us there at the gate, and we were like, so are you gonna help with the stairs, because I really struggled to do the stairs to the aeroplane, so normally I get the platform thing that brings you up. Nope. So not only then was our flight an hour delayed again, they didn't come back to help with that, so that's just stairs, which is 1, dangerous for me to be going up that many stairs, 2, annoying for everyone else who's just trying to get on the plane. But overall it was a pretty good trip. Some of their points of accessibility weren't as good as ours or good as other experiences I had, but I don't know if the language barrier faced a problem with or just their accessible services just not being as up to scratch. So looking forward to the rest of this week. I've got a few days of rest. Tomorrow I've got a blood test because obviously every 2 weeks for the new med, and a biologic injection because it's every 4 weeks for these injections at the moment. Then on the Saturday I'm going to this like show / talk that this guy's doing about the Enigma machine. He's bringing in like a restored version that he has to do a talk with my brother at the Birmingham Rep, which should be very, very interesting. And I really think that's all I've got planned coming up. So it has been a month since my last injection. Sorry I look a bit thingy. I actually forgot I had to do this injection tonight, so I had got quite comfy for bed. But because I only have to do this injection once a month, it occurred to me I've not been able to show you what it looks like. Here is your warning. It does have a needle that is visible. Please skip to the time on screen if you don't want to see any of it, or me injecting medication. That is perfectly fine, but please skip to the time on screen. You will see the needle. So each injection comes in a box like this, 1 in a box. I'll open it up in a second. Now this is the Biologic. So I obviously have to let it get to room temperature, so while I can talk to you about it. Down here is the needle. So what you do is you take the cap off and the needle is right there, out in the open. Then you have the rest of the pen part, and that is the plunge that you push in. How you inject this one is you take off the cap, you put it into your leg, you press down quickly, and then you take it out and it automatically resheaths itself. But obviously as you take the cap off there will be an open needle. And this is quite terrifying to take, purely because you can see the needle. So I definitely struggle a lot more with taking this one. Hello, so it is that time of the month. Every 4 weeks I have to do a uskinanab injection, which is a biological medication. I just want to put out a warning: if you do not want to see self-injection of prescribed medication, please skip to the timestamp on screen. You will possibly see a needle. So, this is the medication. Normally I have pen versions, but when I got this new medication, there unfortunately were not any pen versions available, so I prescribed this needle syringe kind of situation. The needle is here. Once I take it off, it's unsheathed, and that is just a needle out in the open. Once I inject it, it will instantly be resheathed automatically. Here is where the medication is, and here is the plunger. Do not make any mistake, I don't like this. I really hate doing this. But I thought I would film it for the education, and because it holds me accountable to do it. Because trust me, I really hate this. So it has had 15 minutes outside the fridge to get to room temperature. Now I've got to do it. I have got my sharps pin here ready to put it in afterwards, and some tissues, as sometimes a little bit can come back out or a little bit of blood. So I'm going in this fight for this time because I went in this fight last time. Here is the medication. It is 45 milligrams. I really hate this. Let it be known. I really hate this. Come on, I can do it. No, I can do it because I'm brave, I'm strong. I'm brave, I'm strong, I'm confident. I don't know why I'm saying this to myself. Oh, okay. You can do it. 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 Oh, I did it! And there you go, it has covered itself, and now it goes into the bin. So today, well / tonight, me and my brother are off to Birmingham Rep to see something called Code Breakers, which is a talk that someone is doing about the Enigma machine, which is very, very exciting. So yesterday I went to like the next kind of town over, big town over, to do some mini golf with my friend, which was so much fun. We had such a fun day out, even though I was in a massive flare and I really struggled. Something that came out today actually is my story with juvenile arthritis research. So I have contributed my story to their page to help spread awareness on GIA, but also my 10-year-long story for diagnosis. If you would like to hear more about my story, about my journey to diagnosis and afterwards, I will leave a link in the comments. But yeah, today is the last day of July, so that is the end of this month. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done already, and I'll see you next month.